to the Pipe and Tobacco Talk podcast. It's episode 34, which means, you know what time it is, Tim. It's the MBSD Pipes Prop 69 warning.
Good evening, ladies and germs. I haven't heard that in a long time, ladies and germs, for Christ's sake.
For a reason.
All right.
For a reason.
It's really stupid. This podcast will expose the listener to offensive, insensitive, off-putting, and otherwise socially unacceptable content known to the state of California to cause cancer. To avoid injury, the sponsors of this podcast suggest you grow a pair.
That away, Tim.
There you go.
And before we get to our esteemed guest, RDickey from RDickey Pipes tonight, Tim, we apologize. We were supposed to have Simon on this week, and I had a migraine and couldn't do anything over the weekend. So we will reschedule Simon, but Rob was kind enough to come join us for this episode.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we're recording on Tuesday night, so it's rather spectacular. Tim, what a great contest last week. That was fun. But we need to talk about our new talk about our new contest.
Well, let's do that. So this contest was spawned from an idea that Austin at Pathfinder Pipes came up with at the Muletown show. He handed me a pipe and said, "Hey, will you take this home and do a giveaway on your podcast for veterans?" And I said, "Why, sure." And so I took the pipe, and then we started noodling it a little bit. We thought, well, since we like veterans so much, why don't we make this something special? So I've made a pipe. I posted it on Instagram. It's in the magic pipe closet right now, sleeping. But we've got an ashtray from Craig Herzog, a nice briar. He turns pens, and he gave us a pen to give away. Stacy at Mahurin, got that right, Bespoke Works, has told us that she'd give us a leather pipe stand. Austin wants to send us a lighter. He was in Chicago the last weekend. So the point is this prize package is building. I've gotten a number of bios from people recommending or nominating their favorite veteran for the prize. Now, I thought that what we should do is have maybe Sarah on, and maybe Stacy will read them and have them pick. But I think the better way to do this is I'm reading these bios. They're all too good. Every one of them is like, oh man, this guy's got to win. This person's got to win. And I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do the random magic 8-ball number calculator to come up with the winner. I think that would be a fair way to do it. And if the prize package grows enough, we may end up having a first prize and a runner-up, which would be nice too. So keep those cards and letters coming. Thanks for all of the recommendations or the nominations. And if you have anybody in mind that you think is deserving of a very nice package of pipes and other tobacco smoking accoutrement, then please send the bio to us, and that person, your favorite person, will be entered in this drawing. And I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe a couple more weeks. Let's let this build up.
Well, I just want to know, Adam Piper Down 14 from last week, who won a pound of tobacco, has also donated that to the raffle, which I thought was nice. Remarkably very thoughtful of Adam. So thank you, Adam. And it just, it seems like every time we talk about it, somebody else says, "Hey, I'd like to get in on this. I'd like to get in on this." And okay, well, we're good.
Yep.
We don't do this for, fame and riches. This is just about us participating in the pipe community, and what better way to do it than than to honor someone that served our country. So
yeah.
I'm good.
I'm telling you what, I read some of these some of these bios that people were sending me about service members, and I'm in awe. Some of these people have endured, and so anyway, we want to show our appreciation any way we can, and this is one way that we're going to do it.
All right, excellent. So there we go. What a fantastic! I mean, the last contest was hilarious because it was just fun to do. Terry and Rob Norman, and I don't care what anybody says. I think the dildo of consequences was absolutely hilarious, and and I have used that repeatedly since I saw it show up in my.
How do you know it's the dildo of consequences? It's the severe ramming sensation.
Yeah, and the lack of lube. All right. So with us tonight, a fellow Coloradoan has joined us, RDickey from RDickey Pipes. Rob, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Love the podcast. It's freaking hilarious.
Well, we're just we have long said that we're like the hilarious uncles that everybody wants to sit with at Christmas. Yeah, that's us, because we know that your mom, our sister, isn't going to say crap to us, so we can get away with murder.
I know. Yeah. And it all starts with pull my finger,
Yeah, exactly.
Or hold my beer.
Joke. Yeah. And I'm going to throw a dad joke out there because I heard it yesterday and I thought it was hilarious. He goes, I like my women like my Boeing 737s. I'm positive it's going to go down on me.
That's excellent. I heard one today. It goes, my girlfriend thinks that she's always accusing me of cheating on her. She's starting to sound like my wife.
Guy humor. Yeah,
That's right.
We're just here to fun.
And there's a similar one where the lady's sitting next to the guy and she's telling him, I think you golf too much. We've been married a month and, you just seem like you're golfing all the time. He says, you're beginning to sound like my ex-wife. And she goes, I didn't know you were married before. I wasn't.
The older I get, the funnier this shit becomes to me.
Oh,
I know. Well, it's because it's art imitating life.
Yeah,
exactly.
One of my favorite golf jokes. Guys are playing golf. They get to the 14th hole and it's on the road, and a funeral procession goes by, and one of the men stands off to the side of the tee and takes his hat off and bows his head in silence for a minute, and then he goes and tees off, and he goes, wow, that was really nice of you. And he goes, well, it's the least I could do. I was married to her for 30 years.
Excellent.
So there, we're just telling jokes today. So
I know. So there's a guy, he's in the Porta-John, and he's got a stick, and he's like poking around down in the shithole. And a guy walks by and sees him doing it. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, he says, I dropped my coat in there. He goes, oh my God. He goes, it's ruined. Leave it in there. He goes, no, my lunch is in the pocket.
No.
Yeah.
No. So we have RDickey with us tonight, and I want to show off. This was my first RDickey pipe, and I will tell the brief story of how Rob and I met. We were at Edwards. I went to Edwards Tobacco Shop with Anthony from Castle Briars, and we sat down in the room, and Rob came up, and he had a couple of pipes with him, and one of them I really liked. The stem was just too thin for me. I have that horrible canine tooth that cuts through everything, and I would have destroyed that stem. And I contacted him and said, hey, can you make me a pipe? And he goes, yeah, what do you want? And I said, a Dublin, slightly bent. And he goes, what else? Oh, you're the artist. You make the pipe. Well, I just tell you kind of what I want. And he came up, and it's absolutely a spectacular pipe. I really just absolutely love it. Cannot recommend his work highly enough. And it's the first of what I'm sure to be many pipes from Mr. RDickey. So
thanks a lot,
Rob, tell us how you got into pipe making.
I've heard similar stories from a lot of carvers. I was a I was a cigarette smoker for a long time since my teenage years, and I just wanted to get off of them, and so a guy I worked with was a pipes. He was our safety guy, and he smoked a pipe, and I just thought it looked cool, and so I went down to the tobacco store. I was living in Tennessee, and I went down to our local tobacco store and bought a Savinelli, and just loved it. But I was smoking it. I didn't know how to smoke a pipe. I didn't know how to pack a pipe or light a pipe or anything. And I was smoking it like a cigarette, like inhaling it, and it was doing me no favors. Um, and so I put them down. I put it down, and I would get tongue bite really bad, because I was smoking so fast and smoking aromatics that have a lot of sugar and stuff. And um, I started vaping, and years go by. Moved to Colorado. Um, One day I'm out in the garage and I see this box of crap that I haven't unpacked. I've been here for like a year and a half, 2 years, and opened it up, and my pipes were in there, and a can of McClellan's Captain Cool. That was my aromatic of choice, and surprisingly, it was open. The tin was open, but it was still fresh. It was still moist tobacco, and I started smoking it, and like you're supposed to, and I loved it, and just started buying tobacco, and didn't even really vape much. And then my wife, I was telling her I'd like to get some more pipes, and I'm looking at pipes online, and you know hundreds and hundreds of dollars, the coolest ones I could find, from artisan pipe makers. And because I didn't want a factory pipe, I wanted a hand carved pipe, and they were just out of my reach. And so my wife got a little briar kit for me, and I went to town with a Dremel. I still have it around here. The first pipe I ever made. It wasn't too bad. It was kind of like a pot, and but after that, I was just hooked on it, and went to Vermont Freehand, and kind of got to know Steve Norris over there, and acquiring tools, and eventually got a wood lathe and started turning pipes on a wood lathe by hand with hand tools and all that, and graduated to metal lathe, got my sanding my shaping set up here, and dust collection, and just I don't know, just started making pipes as many as I could, and getting roasted on the pipe makers forum, but learning a lot, for real. I gotta give props to Todd Bernard out there, or Bannard, however you say your name, Sasquatch. Gave me a lot of really good feedback on just classic shapes, and then did that for about 2 years or so, and really I've heard a lot of guys talking about freehand pipe making, Danish style pipe making, Sixton Everson style, and so I got a hold of a guy you guys might know, David Huber, and he was in Chicago at the Battle of the Briar, and got a hold of him, and just kind of started a relationship with him, asking him tips and tricks and stuff. And then my wife, because I would tell her about all these things that he was teaching me, just via the internet, and she kind of went behind my back and got a hold of him for my birthday, and set up a weekend long, a long weekend. Probably it was like 3 or 4 days. Flew me out to North Carolina, to Durham, Liberty Arts, where he has his studio, and I worked with him for 3 days on just learning how to shape first and then drill. And it's kind of where I'm at now. I just haven't really turned back. I mean, I still love to do classic shapes, turning pipes on a lathe, but the freedom that Danish style pipe that freehand drilling gives you, over a block of briar, you can work around a lot of flaws. You can let the block speak to you, sort of, you know what I mean? Just follow the grain. And I'm miles and miles away from where I would like to be as a pipe maker, but I'm liking where it's going right now. So that's kind of where I'm at. I take commissions when I can get them, but I just make pipes.
All right.
That's really cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So do you have a
How long-
favorite pipe shape?
I was just wondering how long ago that trip to North Carolina was.
I think that was 2 years ago, I believe. I can't remember the year.
Okay.
The older I get, the more they just kind of blend together. I think it was 2 years ago, I believe. But yeah, Dave is a great guy. He's a great teacher. If he can teach me shit, he can teach anybody. He's just got a good way about him, and he does a lot of workshops at Liberty Arts, where local people come and make a pipe. But he's just he studied under Nana Emerson, granddaughter of Sixon, daughter of Lars, and you can see it in his work. It's just, I mean, he's definitely his own thing. I mean, he's created some really avant-garde pieces, but he can turn a billiard, like nobody's business. But just his use of just curves, his aesthetic is really nice, and he taught me how to do military mounts, and which is something I would really love. I just think that the brass ring on a military mount. I remember the first one I ever really saw was one of his pipes. I think it was on the gallery of his website. And I was like, how does he do that? How did he do that? How did he inlay that brass? No idea. And when he taught me, it was just like, oh yeah, that's totally how you do it, But yeah, man, I just couldn't. I wish I could have stayed longer with him. There was when I got home, there were so many things. I was like, oh shit, I forgot to ask him about this or about that. And but he's real receptive to communication, and it's just a great guy, a good mentor, and a good friend. So it was I was really lucky to hook up with him. But like you said, Jim, been hanging out with Anthony Hopkins, Castle Briars, great guy. Of course, introduced me to you, and lets me use a sandblaster. I don't have a setup yet, so anytime I need a pipe to blast it, I just take it over there, and he lets me go to town. But he's totally in with the pipe crowd. Saw him the pictures that he took out there at Chicago, and yeah, just so many cool people in this community, and they're really, for the most part, just really kind, cool folk, and kind of people after my own heart, and so it's cool to be part of that community.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a really cool story about the learning the Danish style pipe making. I've only watched videos. Dave Huber, I watched him go to town on a block of wood, making a blowfish on. Yeah. And I remember watching that and thinking, oh, that's how you do that,
Right.
And you're right. It's got to give you a lot of freedom because you're just sort of shaping to the grain.
Absolutely.
Now, do you have an example of it handy while you're in your workshop?
Are you talking to me or talking to Tim?
No, I'm talking to you. I talk to Tim all the time. I know what Tim makes.
Yeah, I got it.
And by the way, that Dublin you posted today, with the spectacular grain, absolutely gorgeous pipe. That was beautiful work. So, what you got for us, Rob?
So this is the first blowfish that I ever made. There's a lot to be desired, but yeah, it was just I went through 5 blocks trying to get this right, and even more stems. It was just such a challenge, but like you were saying with David's video, someone can tell you how to do something, can explain it in text, but to see it done, you know what I mean? Just the way that this straight grain runs and the facets, was it Hiroyuki Tokutomi, I think, really made this shape just, I think, what it is today. A lot of people, the fugu in particular, emulate that and try to copy that. And, the panels with the bird's eye, and the way that these facets run on the line that's connecting everything. It's such the first time I saw a blowfish, I did not like it. I was just like, what is that? It's asymmetrical. Why would you make a pipe that's asymmetrical? But once you get into it, and I don't know if you can see,
I know
it's
it's
the way that those curves run. It's not, I'm not talking about mine in particular, but just the blowfish itself is such an interesting shape. It's a work of art. It's an emulation of nature, which I think, if I remember correctly, it was Lars Everson, who really, the first shape was kind of like a blowfish. He called it something else though. It might have just been a fish. I can't remember, but big round panels on the side and stuff. But yeah, it's just such a unorthodox shape. And then when I started making it, I watched David do it first, and going around the block, the way that he shapes that block, just roughly at first, you can really see it transform, because he's holding the block, I believe, kind of like this. And as he's going around, he's following those lines all the way around and terminating on these panels and, cutting into the side of the panel. And, yeah, it's just a really bizarre, I know a lot of people that just, they like this, they like the billiard, and I do too. I love it.
Yeah.
But, for a pipe maker, one of these is a challenge. It taught me more. I learned more from making this pipe than I think any other shape that I've ever made, as far as how to isolate the grain, and find what direction to go in. I don't want to sound too Miyagi here, but
Yeah, it's too late for that, Rob.
Right, I know.
Just go with it. Just go with it. We're fine.
A good piece of briar will speak to you, and for me, and I usually use Mackey's briar, I believe, the Greek briar, and Mimo when I can get grade 3. It's grade 1 and 2 is hard to come by. But Anthony, man, that guy has got a store of briar. I love when I went over to his house and he's like, check this out. And he's just got like a basement full of briar from all different cutters and all over the Mediterranean. And I was so jealous. I was like, dude, I got like 2 boxes. That's why
nobody can get briar, because Anthony's got it all.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he made that pipe that he took to Muletown. That was 40-year-old briar that ended up here in my collection.
Was that the pot with bamboo, or
no?
No, a different one. Oh, all right.
But Rob, that blowfish though, you sort of discounted it and kind of poo-pooed it a little bit when you were talking about it.
Yeah, what are you doing?
And
God, it drives me nuts.
Yeah,
what are you guys doing?
it's
a gorgeous pipe. Oh yeah, it was terrible. I didn't like it. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what, that thing is nothing to. That's nothing to sneeze at.
It's
I was going to ask you
piece of work.
If you put it up to the camera and turn it kind of slowly, so the folks who are watching this can look at that.
Pop
I love that rib.
My favorite is the ring. I don't know if you can get the glare. There we go. I mean, you don't see it real well because of the flare on the stem, but I just think aesthetically it's a really cool thing, and I mean, it obviously serves a function, but yeah, just I love it. I love military mount. I mean, so easy to break down and clean, and there's a bunch of schmutz on there. But let me put the light back up.
In case anybody's scoring at home, schmutz is a technical term that pipe makers use for something on the pipe.
I love that pipe. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
I think I've smoked it 3 times. It's just I keep it in the shop, and it's for sale if you want it. It's an estate pipe now.
Yeah, it's a beauty. It's a beauty.
Gorgeous work. Yeah. So well done.
What else you got? Come on, hit me.
When you're I always like to ask questions about, your staining techniques and what you use to stain and finish pipes. So, you know,
Okay.
talk to me, because I've got this and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's got a reddish color on the rim. And I try desperately to not char my rims. Sometimes I'm more successful than others.
I've noticed that with Cumberland, because that one's got the Cumberland stem. I always tend to either go black with a sandblast or some type of reddish brown to try to kind of, I don't want
Yeah.
to completely match it, but yeah, as far as finishing goes, that was a harder thing for me to grasp at first, until Todd. I'm just going to say Todd Bernard. um, he gave me this example. He's like, when you start out with a low grit sandpaper, you're creating deep scratches, and then you're going over it with finer, and you're erasing those scratches, and finer and finer and finer, until those scratches are not visible to the human eye. Up to 800 to 1,000 grit, and I sometimes contrast stain with my smooths, and how many times I have, I've gone over the pipe, a million times, and there's not a scratch on this pipe. I know it, and then I put that black stain on, and start to sand it off and see scratches, and I'm like, how did I miss that? How did I miss that? So the key to me was just, when you think you're done, you're not done sanding. Sand and sand and sand and sand and sand until you're freaking sick of it. And another thing, I had always heard that some of the guys on the forum would swear by this, like, I don't know, 700 to 1300 RPM speed for buffing, and I tried that and I got a decent luster, but when I cranked my lathe up to about 3,200, as high as my wood lathe, as high as it goes, because that's what I use. I don't know if you can see, but I've got a little Harbor Freight wood lathe and a little mandrel that's got the Beal buffing wheels on it. And when I cranked that sucker up and used light pressure instead of really, going to town on it, I managed to get, in conjunction with a good shellac, managed to get a more mirror-like finish and on my smooths. Obviously, I want them to look like glass. So yeah, I love that pipe too. I still have that pipe. I have not sold that pipe yet. It's sitting
Now
behind me.
that's got a glass-like finish on it.
Yeah, it shined up really well. I took my time with that one for sure. I was kind of and I told who was I talking to? Yeti, Micah.
Yes, right.
I was telling him, I was talking to him via Facebook Messenger, just asking him some advice, and which is, not to get on a sidetrack here, but like, I've talked to like some of the best pipe makers in the world, you know what I mean, that have access to, and all of them, Abe Herba, he's one of my all-time favorite pipe makers. Just the coolest dude with his time. Well, if I ask a technical question, he'll give me a technical answer, and it's just, for nothing. It's awesome. But what the hell was I saying? Sorry, I did get on a side.
So you're talking about raising that high luster.
Right, with that tomato that you showed.
Thank God Tim's here, because I went with you. No idea.
Can you guys see me? My internet says it's slow. Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear. You're good.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah.
But
and by the way, our producer sat this episode out, so I am producing this show. I can't promise you what we're going to get.
I can't wait to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Train wreck that this will be. But anyways, so with that tomato, I was trying to imitate sort of Yeti style tomatoes, because he makes these awesome pipes, and and so I just really took my time on the sanding and made sure I got everything, all the scratches out and whatnot. But the funnest part of that pipe was buffing it because it's so round. Any pipe that's got a flat edge to it, there's always a possibility that buffing is going to
Zoom.
grab and fucking throw it
Yeah,
across the room.
I know.
And which has happened multiple times.
Those are called ceiling pipes.
Yes, yes, or things that can injure you easily.
Yep.
But yeah, it was just buffing it and waxing it was just like, because there is no hard. The only hard edge on that pipe is the back of it, where it's right here. Yeah, and this one's got the military mount too. I kind of got into a thing there, and but the edges are all smooth, and so it's just, you can really just go all over that wheel, and just go to town, and it really shined up nice. And I mean the grain that on that pipe,
I know. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's so
spectacular.
It's so rare that I get grain that is that freaking tight, like, and other pipe makers are probably looking at that going, what the hell is he talking about? But for me, that's a really tight grain. So
I heard Joe Skoda gave me a tip one time and told me to try Fabuluster. It comes, you can get it on Amazon. It comes in an aluminum tube. You push it out of the tube. It's a formed cake, and but it's real high grit, and it's white, and I think it's finer than white diamond, I guess, but it does a nice job.
Yeah, there's some German stuff. What the hell is it called? I can't remember. It's like 2,000, 2,500 mins. Shit, I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, so a lot of the high end guys use that stuff too. Separate wheels. I've got 3. Some guys have like 5 wheels. For higher grit stuff. But I've managed to get with just Tripoli and white diamond and carnauba wax. Managed to get. I sent David one time. I had done this egg, and I sent it to him, and I was asking him about some other aspect of the pipe, and he said, "Did you use a lacquer on that?" And I was like, "No, just Tripoli and white diamond." And he said, "Okay, good." He's like, "You don't want to put anything like that on a pipe." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I know." He was like, he was really amazed at the shine that I got out of it, and that's the first pipe that I really ramped my the RPMs up on my buffing setup. And as opposed to some guys. With waxing, I mean, Tim, like when you first start that wheel, you got to kind of get it heated up. You know what I mean? You got to heat that wax up. And so, a little more manhandling is required. But for the Tripoli and the white diamond, I found that higher RPMs with a lighter touch really, and moving the pipe just in weird ways.
Crisscross, back and forth, crosshatch kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought just thinking that I was going to be able to get something that was going to be worthwhile and not spend a lot of money on it. Almost never works out. I went to Harbor Freight and I got a Bauer buffer, and it's got a shaft on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, I think it's 3,600 RPM, one speed. You flip the switch and it just goes like hell, like that. And I started it. I'm thinking, shit, I'm going to start a fire. Just cut the pipe in two.
This pipe is
so anyway,
on the outside.
On the outside. But I use it for buffing metal then.
Oh yeah.
Then if you get anything that's metal, I'll do that on there as opposed to use my Beal wheel and muck it all up with the tarnish. Yeah.
How long have you been making pipes, Tim?
Like 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been. You got good pipes.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, maybe a little bit more now, but about 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. People always ask me how many pipes I've made, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. No clue. Lost count after like 10.
Yeah, once you get past the number of fingers, it doesn't matter anymore. You're good.
I'm not taking my shoes off to count. Okay?
Yeah,
right.
sure, I can count to 21 naked, but I'm not gonna. So,
Right.
Man.
so
Somebody say, now, which pipe was that? Was that number? You mean the red one? That's what I.
Right.
Yeah.
are you sure
What?
that's the pipe you wanted? Okay, all right, good.
I know a lot of pipe makers will they number their pipes and stuff, but I'm just not to that level, or I don't know if I ever would do that. I mean, like, I don't really care if it's got my stamp on it, and it breaks. Just send it back to me. I'll fix it for free. That's always guaranteed. If anybody does want to buy anything from me or commission anything, you can get a hold of me. RDickey Pipes on Facebook and Instagram. But I'd be happy to make a pipe for anybody.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you have a backlog right now? And how long does it take? So if I called you up and said I want a commission pipe,
I'm caught up right now. I just finished my last commission. It was a nice little, a little bent billiard. This guy, I know, he's bought several pipes off of me. Really nice guy, and he had this. I don't remember the make of pipe. It looked kind of like the ones that had the little stinger at the end of the tenon, like a little metal thing with a ball. He had a pipe like that, and actually the stem was threaded like into the stummel, and it cracked. He dropped it and it cracked all the way along the bottom of the shank, and I repaired it for him, but I was like, dude, you're probably gonna want a new one soon, and it was a very small pipe, one of the smaller pipes that I've ever actually seen. And so he wanted me to make as close as I could a replica of that pipe. Yeah, exactly. Who makes that? The one you're holding there, Jim?
this is a Dr. Graybo Viscount.
I don't know if it was a Graybo. I cannot remember. It had a dot. It had a dot, but it was yellow and it was on the side.
That would be Yellow Bowl, or in fact, I think it's Yellow Bowl.
Can't remember, but yeah, so
that was very popular in the 60s and 70s, where they put in these screw-in tenons. And as someone who has restored pipes, no, let's not ever bring that back for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, and so he wanted me to make him one similar to that. So I did the best I could. He seemed to be really happy with it. Luckily, I had a stem. So I usually use integral tenons, or I make integral tenons. I cut the tenon into the rod. For a little while though, I was trying the whole Delrin, tenons, the nylon tenon or Teflon, self-lubricating. Really cool. The problem is, and I've heard Jeff Grasick from J. Allen Pipes was talking about this one time. It's a weak. There's a weakness there. You know what I mean? Because you're gluing, and some guys will thread them, but like most people just scratch up they'll drill their hole and then scratch the inside of that up, and then scratch the back part of the tenon, and then epoxy that in, and then drill it. But there's always a chance that the pipe's heating up and it's cooling down, it's expanding and it's contracting. That he said he had more people return pipes that had that type of tenon, so he just started going. He went back to cutting the tenons himself. Where the hell was I going with that? I did a lot of drugs when I was younger. Okay,
it's okay. We're
That's all right.
Have you never watched an episode of this? We're going to ask this question. Where are we going after that? No idea.
Squirrel.
Something shiny. The pipe I made for the dude. It had a real nice little boxwood band on it, and the Cumberland. But I already had I started to make a stem. I had a really wide diameter piece of Cumberland. The first one I bought, I was like 25 millimeters or 26 millimeters in diameter, and I had a little bit left, and I had put a tenon on there but never drilled it. and it worked out just perfect for that little pipe. And he was real satisfied with it. But that's the last one that I did for somebody else. I'm working on several. I don't know what you call them. They're just freehand. I got a long shanked blowfish, and I'm actually, it's funny because I am not a fan of bamboo on a pipe. Now I know that that's heresy to a lot of people. A lot of people love it. Me personally, I don't own any pipes with bamboo. I understand the reason why, back in the day and briar shortages and stuff, why pipe makers use that. But our mutual friend Anthony is gonna give me a crash course next time I'm out at his shop, and I'm gonna start putting some bamboo on. Nobody has asked me for any pipes with future bamboo. Maybe they will now. There you go. That's cool, man.
Um,
You make
when
that?
you said, yeah, yeah, when the thing I like about them is that the bamboo is always crooked, so you can kind of do some different things
Sure.
to, I don't know, it just makes it different. Anyway, I'll um, show a bamboo pipe on here, and Jim will every time. Not a fan.
Well, and I mean, I have seen some. Todd Johnson has made some really cool, long, almost churchwarden-esque pipes that feature that bamboo, and I don't know, he can pull it off. I mean, better than a lot of pipe makers I've seen, do it, but it's just not something I'm familiar with. And I've got all the stuff, man. I got stainless steel tubing. I've got tons of bamboo. David Huber gave me a bunch of bamboo while I was at his shop a couple years ago, and I still haven't given it a go. But yeah,
it burns great. If you have a little wood burner, just chuck it right in, set it on fire. Smells nice.
I do it just because it's a challenge,
sure.
to get that joint right,
Right.
get the flow of it. It's just a challenge, and
Yeah.
some people like them,
Yeah, totally. And
Not everybody.
I want to have that in my skill set. I just have, a lot of other things I know how to do, but not that. I mean, I guess I know that the basics. I've never in practice done it, and so he's been making some really cool faceted pots with bamboo, and they're just looking dynamite. And he'll send me pictures all the time, after he oils one or something, and kind of keeps me up to speed on what he's doing. But I haven't talked to him since Chicago got done with, so be interesting to hear some of the story. He tells me that those pipe shows are just, I've never been to a pipe show ever.
Oh, you got to go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hopefully I'll be in Vegas this year. If nothing crazy comes up out of the ordinary. It's not far from here. So
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
a lot cheaper to go there than Chicago. And a lot of people have been telling me that Vegas is just is becoming the pipe show. A lot of people have, really, so it's a different atmosphere than Chicago. It's not as insane. It's a little more laid back and a little more time to talk and smoke. And, so yeah, looking forward to doing that sometime as well.
Yeah, that'd be good. It'd be good to see you out there.
Yeah. It's funny because I know so many people in the community that I've never met, in person. Just talk to either on the phone or on, Facebook or email or whatever. And, some of the best carvers in the world. And it would be really cool to finally meet my idols, and be all starstruck.
Yeah, fanboy it up a little bit.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Rob, you should be thrilled because I've only met two people in the pipe community that make pipes, and that's you and Anthony. And
Is that right?
I haven't been to a pipe show. Work commitments and living on the wrong side of the world and other stuff.
I mean, it's I've got a family and that takes obviously a priority over everything else. So, things come up and so far it just hasn't worked out. Like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years now or 6 years. And, for the first couple of years, I didn't even know that there were such thing as pipe shows, and now I do. And I definitely want to go.
Excellent.
Well,
Excellent.
I went to Vegas last year, and come to find out, our mutual friend, Jim and I, our mutual friend Terry Brewster. You might know Terry.
I'm sure. Doesn't ring a bell, but
Rob. Okay. Well, he's an enabler, an alcohol pusher, and an enabler.
okay.
I wouldn't have consumed as much as I did if Terry hadn't been there. So it's his fault.
Your recent visit to Muletown indicates that may not, perhaps not be the truth. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Well, he was there though.
Yeah, I mean, your
He was
BAC
there.
was reaching room temperature IQ levels. It was, as evidenced by episode 31.
Everybody
I'm done.
needs an enabler in their life.
He was in the common thread is Terry Brewster.
Yeah, we had him on an episode, and he couldn't say MBSD by the end of the episode.
And he swore. I did too. I said it right. No, you didn't.
No, not even close. You might have had all the letters, but not the right order. So
he said, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to it." I know I did. He listened to it. No, it was terrible. I didn't say that at all.
Yeah. So excellent. So I'm going to post the links to Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to shoot me your email, I'll put your email in there if you want people to email you directly, so that they can get a hold of you. And they can see your work on Instagram and Facebook. Do you have a website yet?
I don't. That's one thing I probably need to do. I've gotten, I'd say probably 90% of my business from Facebook, just from people seeing, friends of friends of friends seeing my work. And, there's a couple of, groups on Facebook. Well, more than a couple, but a couple that I belong to that I'll post my pipes and people will inquire and, place an order. So.
And I meant to ask you, what are you smoking tonight?
Tonight, I am smoking one of my all-time favorites. This is Orlick Golden Sliced
All right.
Virginia tobacco. I haven't had any for a while, and I just love that shit, man. It is so good. It's like, I don't know if either one of you guys ever been cigarette smokers.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
I haven't.
When you open up a pack of cigarettes and that fresh Virginia smell, like it's way better than the smell of a burning cigarette. That's what this stuff reminds me of. And it's got this, light, almost like a citrus kind of taste to it. I'm a huge fan of English tobaccos, as Jim well knows. He made Broken Compass. I mean, seriously, Jim, you got some of the best leaf I've ever smoked. I tell you what, though, I really loved Queen's Reign. And what was the other one? What was the other one you threw in? Do you remember?
Wausau Sound, maybe?
No.
Kentucky Fall? I don't know.
Oh, wait, I have it over here. Hold on.
All right. Wander around. We do that. Tim does that. He goes back to the prize closet and we're fine.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's inside. It's another one. Mick something. Shit, I can't remember. It sounds very Scottish, but really good English blends, man. I was really impressed. Well done, man.
Oh,
and
thank
even
you.
like all pressed and it's savoring it. And I mean, dude, Tim, the first time I met Jim at Edwards, he brought like a bag full of jars of tobacco and just left it there. He's like, here you go, guys. And me and Anthony are like, I want that. And I went home with like 4 or 5 jars of this really awesome tobacco. And so, yeah, I mean, I tell everybody, I mean, Emerson Southern Forged, you got to check it out if you want your blend. Jim can do it, and it's really good stuff. But yeah, tonight it's the Golden Slice, and also that Cornell and Deal Pirate Cake, man. That's some rich Latakia based tobacco. Love it. Everybody else hates it in the house, but I love it. And that's usually my smoke is usually a pretty heavily Latakia blends. So but I'm open.
I hear you.
I'm open to all different kinds. So
Yeah,
Right up
well,
my alley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim and I are both RDickey guys, and we don't get to smoke in the house, which is why we do this podcast. We're kind of like Mike Murphy from Pipe and Tampering It Up. We don't actually see us smoking pipes ever, but
well,
Yeah.
I can smoke in my house, but my wife trains the fan right on me, so I'm just
Oh.
like, I'd rather go out in the garage.
nothing beats flaming embers
Pipes.
in the beard.
Pipe's hot. Ow.
We may set the house on fire, but it's not going to smell like Latakia in my living room. Okay?
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
Hmm.
Yeah. This is when we met at Edwards, I just brought a bunch of stuff. I thought some of them were stuff I hadn't even sent out to anybody. It's the problem. You make a blend and you put it in the closet and think, oh, that was pretty good. I liked it, but there's not many I don't like. So it's I'm not the best judge.
Do you have a favorite blend that you've made yourself that's like just at the top of your list? Like one that you just keep going back to that you just love?
Yeah, there's Bryn Mawr, which is a balcony kind of blend that I make, and Port Marion. I think I probably grabbed those two the most. I also like Palo Torcido, which is kind of a light English. The problem is that when you have 300 jars sitting behind you, you can't see them today because of the way I'm sitting, but you just walk up to it and what do I feel like today? Well, I feel like this, and just grab it and off we go. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like an old man sometimes because I'm very stubborn and stuck in my ways, and I'll find these like. So when I first started getting into English, it was Seattle Pipe Club, Plum Pudding, very pungent Latakia based, in English blend, and I would buy the big tins, and that stuff is not cheap, especially now since we have an excise tax here in Colorado. They
oh really? Oh well, let's get to the piss Jim off moment of the show. Yeah.
I hadn't heard about this in the last.
Look at
20
how
minutes.
red his forehead gets when he has to pay 62.5% excise tax on tobacco into Colorado.
It's like if I order off of I don't want to say any names, off the big pipe tobacco website, my orders are $10 more now because of this tax. But then I went to another one. Another website, and I do go down to Edwards because I like the brick and mortar as well. But for convenience, sometimes I just order online. And I went to another one, and they didn't charge that tax. And I'm like, didn't know. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, and I'm not telling them either. And I think you know what website it is.
Got my tax.
Yeah, darn it.
Well, it's funny. I was in a conversation last night with a guy. I made a pipe for him, and we were talking about sending the pipe out, and he wanted to send me some tobaccos, and he was a guy that he hadn't done it for years, and then just got back into it, and he said, telling me about all the different tobaccos he's buying. He's bought 30 pipes in the last month, and
pipe acquisition disorder is real.
That's it. I was waiting for you to say it, Jim.
Right. But he was talking about all the I'll call it labeled type tobacco blends. How about this? You like this one? I got some of that, but I haven't smoked it yet. Well, what are you smoking? And I tell him, well, I got this Emerson Southern Forged. You got a what? I said, I get this friend of mine that he blends tobaccos, and I got more tobacco than I can smoke in a lifetime. And I just, I bob around through those. I'm going to try this one now. I'm going to try this one. It's like a smorgasbord,
Yeah.
And that Kentucky
There's more
Fall,
on the way, by the way. Sorry. Oh, right. Oh, Kentucky Fall.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I took a slice off of that puck and sent it to him so that he could try it. I sent him some Harrison Cellar, some Port Marion, and some of my Balkan that you made for me.
Yeah, the
I
Beaumont
can't try
Supreme.
some of that now. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know, and that's
one thing I don't do that I really need to start doing is cellaring tobacco. I just smoke it so fast. Like I can't. I spend my money on other things, and so it's like, um, uh, a lot of guys just like Anthony, man. He's got a ton of tobacco,
Mhm.
and I'm sure you do as well, Jim. But
We don't talk about the number or quantity or weight. And for God's sakes, don't look in the closet. Whatever you do.
But yeah, I really need to start doing that because there's a definite Anthony's got some blends that he's been aging for a few years, 5 years or whatever, and he had some Sillam's Black,
Mhm.
and I had never smoked it, and he gave me some that was like 5 years aged, and I was like, hell yes, I love that. It's almost it's kind of English, it's kind of aromatic, it's got a little bit of that Cavendish, but it's got Latakia, and it was just interesting as hell. And I was like, I got to get some of that. And then I bought a tin, and I let it dry out a little bit because it was fairly moist when I got it, but it just wasn't the same. It wasn't as mellow. It didn't
Mhm.
have it was something to that aged tobacco, that sugars or whatever, that just it was just so much more mellow. So I'm gonna have to get into that, and I smoke constantly. Like I smoke a pipe all the time, and I just go through it so fast that like I'm gonna keep you in business, Jim.
Well, here are some key tips. Anything that you really like in bulk, go ahead. Get a pound of it. I don't want to talk about my tobacco acquisition disorder because it's
Is it as bad as the pipe acquisition disorder?
Raging, galloping.
Yeah.
Galloping.
I calculated it a year ago that if I smoked 10 pipes a day to get through it all, I'd have to live to be 138.
So you better get to smoking.
I've only been 92.
And so the problem is when I started back on my pipe smoking journey, I saw the mutton chop piper,
Oh yeah.
and and everybody was talking about cellaring tobacco. So if I found something I like, I'd get a pound or I get 2 pounds of it and put it in. And then mutton chop goes, oh, cellar deep, not wide. Oh,
Yeah.
so I don't have enough pounds of these particular tobaccos. Let's load up, and I think I have. I don't want to talk about it, but I have. I think I have 50 blends that I have more than a pound and a half of. So
Wow.
and then plus I have blenders. The really cool thing is that I can make shit too. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's
yeah.
like pipe making. I haven't bought a pipe since I bought 3 pipes in my life, and they were all within like 6 months of each other. The first was a Savinelli. It's called a Quandale. It's like a semi church warden with like a little oak um, little extension thing. And then they were all 3 Savinellis. The other one was a church warden because you got to have at least one.
You got to Gandalf it up every now and then.
Exactly, and then a Dublin. And those are the only 3 pipes I ever bought, and got into pipe making. And it's like anytime I want a pipe, I just make it, and that's pretty cool,
Yeah. That's.
But I don't collect them like you guys do, or at least like Jim. I don't know about you, Tim, but I don't. I think I've got on my stand. I've got maybe like 8 pipes. I smoke like 3 of them regularly. This poor thing. Look at this. I mean, like look at that nasty thing. Like I don't take good care of my pipes. Like yeah, I know. I need to get some. Well, I'm a bagpiper as well, so we used to use those softy bits on our blowpipes. believe it or not, because you tend to like clench down on them and they hurt your teeth. So that was the first my first introduction to the softy bit. But yeah, I could imagine, I can't imagine never wanting for tobacco. You know what I mean? Like being a blender, it's like you can do whatever you want. You can make whatever you want, and you're not going to run it, Jim.
No. Nope. But
probably about the only person that treats their pipes worse than you do would be me, because at least you have a stand.
Yeah,
mine are on my bench, and I got the sawdust in. Like if I have some that are rusticated, they're all packed full of sawdust.
Yeah,
and I'll take a scrub brush out every once in a while and brush it. It won't come off, and just go to town.
Yeah,
and some of them are like I'll have half a bowl of tobacco in it. The tops burn on it, and then I'd set it down to do something, and then pack another one and forget about that one, and then like a week later I go back and it's full of tobacco. I wonder what that was. Light it up. Oh yeah.
I remember this bowl now. Yes.
Where a lot of guys, they treat their collections like a stable full of thoroughbreds.
Sure.
Mine's like a chain link fence with a kennel.
Yeah, same. I just don't. I mean, to me, I'm not a collector, so the pipe is it's a utility kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's.
How much sacrilege can we have in one show? What is wrong with you? Oh, yeah. Hey, Jim, how do you? Tim said clean my pipe with a blowtorch and a Dremel. A wire wheel throw. Yeah. What did that bowl start out of? I think it was a 19. What is it now? It's a 46. Whatever. Just
you can put your fist in it.
Exactly. Yeah, I've nenever had a 2-ounce pipe before.
Should you be able to see light through the bottom of your bowl? I don't think so. It's a carburetor now.
Yeah,
I mean, I totally get it. Because it's like if you're not in a shop and you're not making a pipe, your contact with the pipe is a little more intimate. It's getting home from work and having a beer or a cup of coffee or a glass of scotch and firing up a bowl in your favorite bowl. You know what I mean? And so, but it's like, when you're making them all the time, I mean, I still treat every pipe I make with the utmost respect, you know what I mean? And cause it's a piece of me, but as far as my own pipes go, yeah, they're just, I have 2 Dunhills that are older than me, and that I treat pretty gingerly. I don't clench them, I hold them, but everything else is just like, okay. So I have bought more than 3 pipes. I bought this little. I think I might have showed you, Jim. It's a little It's a 1969 Dunhill, what they call a quaint shape. It's like it didn't work out exactly like they had planned grain wise or whatever, and so they kind of freehand it, and it's a pretty cool little piece. It's like a sort of a pickaxe meets a Dublin meets an acorn. It's weird. It's got a little spur on the bottom of it. But then, and my wife bought me a 1976 Dunhill shell for my birthday because I was born in '76, and so. But yeah, everything else is our handmade pipes by me, and I treat them like shit.
Attaboy. Just beat the shit out of them. Yeah. What did you make this pipe in mind? That'll look nice when I drop it on the floor. Oh?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Some bizarre musical interruption there. I'm going to have to go lay down with a cold compress on my forehead because there's only so much. It's like, Tim, when Tim and I first became friends, he goes, yeah, I got this pipe rack out in the garage, but I don't have room for it, so I'm going to send it to you. And it's right over my shoulder, right over there.
Nice.
It holds 12 pipes. And, well, where do you keep your pipes now? Sometimes in a drawer, window ledge, whatever. It's good,
Wherever you find a spot. Yeah. There's a box.
Yeah. It's like...
I've got a couple of leather tobacco trays. Thomas made me one, and there's another one out there, and they've all got like tobacco and I don't know, 2 or 3 pipes laying in them. And I don't know. I'm always using them. Like always picking them up and putting them down. And I live in a dirty world, man. I sawdust and. I come in and there's a cloud, when I walk across the yard from the shop to the house, there's like a trail of dust that follows me.
Yeah, like Pigpen.
Pigpen. That's right.
Yeah.
I was having the same issue. I have this grizzly dust collector. My brother-in-law, who is also a woodworker, it was too big for his shop. And so he sold it to me for a really cheap price. And it still had the original bags on it that I think came with it. And like they had been patched. And like I just noticed a fine layer of briar dust starting to build up on everything in my shop. And so I sprung for some new, I think they're like 2-micron bags. And it cleared the problem up like that. So it's still a little dusty, but not like it was. It was like my wife could tell, even with the dust collector going full blast, I'd get done at night and it's all over me and I'm hacking and coughing and, stuff is definitely not good to be breathing in. So, dust collection's a must, ain't it?
Well,
it's a pain in the ass. But the only thing that I did that worked out, dust control wise, was I bought one of those Trends helmets. It's got a filter inside of it. It's got HEPA filters in it, and it circulates air, and it closes around your head, so that when all that stuff's flying, you're not breathing it. And then the other thing that I did was I bought
use one of these.
I saw it on the inner tube. It was a 3600 MCF canister fan that you set on top of it's like a giant diesel generator filter. It's about if you took 2 5-gallon buckets, it's about that tall, those stacked together, and then you just bolt this thing on there, and it pulls everything down into it, and it's blowing it against the inside of that filter. And so right next to where I shape and everything, even though I've got vacuum pulling it, you're still getting dust everywhere. Yeah. And I'll run that, and that seems to have helped a lot. Get the the particulate that's flying around. But everywhere is like the dust and linen off the buffing wheels, and that shit just flies everywhere.
Yeah, my wife sent me a picture the other day. It's from a few years back. I was wearing it was wintertime, and I was out here wearing a sweater, and I had raked my buffing wheels trying to clean them off. And it just threw that shit everywhere. And I walked in, and she just started laughing, grabbed her phone, and took a picture. And I look like I've been tarred and feathered. I was just covered in that shit
all over you. Yeah.
You know, I don't think either one of you have lived until you hear that high pitched screaming, and you get to run down and kill a piece of Cavendish with a paper towel because it looks way too much like a spider.
It's a Cavendish.
It smells like vanilla. Smell it, huh? No.
So you pick it up and eat it. What is it?
This stuff's delicious.
Protein.
Yeah, that's I'll come out from a day of blending, and did you put any in a jar of the press gym? No, not really. I just sprinkle it on myself lightly, and then hope I don't run into anything with an open flame. My wife also finds it amusing because I've got these new black nitrile Dr. Jellyfinger gloves. I'll go walking out covered in tobacco with black rubber gloves on. Come here, honey, give me a kiss. No, it's not working at all. There might be an ulterior motive. Oh, anyway, so I will post how to get a hold of you. Like I said, I have one of your pipes. It is the first of what I expect to be many. because I do
I
have
hope so. That'd be great. I'd love to make another one for you.
I do have pipe acquisition disorder of an unparalleled level. I'm not
Lucky for me.
Yeah, I'm not quite Jay Furman yet, but I'm working up to it. So,
How many do you think you have in your collection?
and we don't
total?
talk about the number ever, Rob.
I
No,
was trying. Joe.
no.
You keep trying to trap him.
No, we don't talk about that.
He squirms right out. Yeah.
We don't talk about the number, but I do have materials to build a rack that will hold 100 pipes. So it'll be like the one that's over my shoulder here, except it'll be tall and stand on the floor. We don't actually talk about the number ever.
Sorry, I brought
that's okay. You know, not that I have any fear that that you'll ever listen to this show, but I certainly don't want to. You know, and here in the divorce proceedings, you have. Oh yeah, I'm not giving away half of them. I'm moving to Mexico.
I mean, you still probably have like 600 or 700, man. I mean, come on.
You know, nice try again, but no, we're not telling a number. Valiant effort.
I'll get it out of you one of these days.
So, anyway, so Rob, thank you so much for being on. You're more than welcome to stick around while we do what's new, read comments from the last episode, and as a special treat, Rob, we kind of name our episodes. So Ben, our producer, says, "Hey, what are we going to call this episode?" And between Tim and I, we'll come up with something. So we'll give you the opportunity. What do you want to name this particular episode, Rob?
You were talking about that dildo earlier, and I just lost it.
All right. Looks like it's the dildo of consequence.
Well, I think, wasn't that like the last show was a contest or something?
That's it. You said it. You said it. That's what it is now.
Done.
That's it. Done. RDickey and the dildo of consequences.
Yep.
My name is bad enough on its own. Add dildo of consequences to it.
Yeah.
We got a winner.
Yep.
Boys.
Absolutely. So there you go. So,
well, guys, this has been a blast. I do have to go, unfortunately, but I would love to be on this show again. I do watch it, and at work I have the opportunity to listen to podcasts and watch podcasts, and so I told my wife, I'm like, these guys are just a couple of jokers, man. They're just crack me up. I love the conversations you guys have. You guys' sense of humor is right up my alley. So again, thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
It was our pleasure, Rob, and we will definitely have you back on again. So thank you so
guys.
much.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care.
Good night, Rob.
Good to meet you.
Good night. Nice to meet you.
All right. So there we go. Now it's back to just me and you. And for the first time in a while, I have no new pipe to talk about. So what's new at PapaBear's Pipes, Tim? What did you make? What have you got to show off today?
Well, I already showed you this one. This little
the Danish egg with the
little bamboo pipe there.
There we go.
I've got this one I finished. This one had some really cool grain.
Oh, that was.
This one is, as of tonight, though, this is gone. This is
somebody already bought it.
And Mitchell bought this.
Really? Wow.
Hope he doesn't mind me saying.
Well.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I
Absolutely.
just got back from Chicago. So
I know. He messaged me Sunday night. He goes, "Oh, I picked up some stuff at the show that I have to show you. It's my own personal crack dealer, Oh, here's something I know you want. Oh, please, no. All right. How much?
So now I'm working on this. There's a commissioned
Oh,
horn.
Wow.
So I got as far as getting the dye on it and the oil today. It's got that's mammoth tusk.
Oh,
and it'll have a black stem. I got the stem roughed out, so I'll finish this one up tomorrow, and in a few days be able to buff it out. And
excellent.
And then really I've got another. Thank you. I've got another horn that I'm working on, and I'm going to try out some of Craig Herzog's rod material that he's making.
Oh,
And so we'll show that one next time we're together.
all right. Excellent. Well, that'll be a
Yeah.
hoot. The only thing new in my collection, Simon posted the other day that there was this book that he had just picked up called The Pipe Companion. And I'm showing it for
Okay.
those of you watching it. So I found a copy on eBay for $4. So it came home, and it's just about artisan pipe makers. And this was published back in 2000. So it's, 24 years old. So it has a lot of the guys that have, either passed on or, aren't making pipes anymore. And I'm ready to dig into that. So that's what's new.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I haven't blended for now going on 5.5 weeks. And it's just a pain in the ass. I'm going to run tomorrow. I'm going to get a cortisone shot in my wrist and see if that doesn't fix it. And, at least so that I can be functional and get back to blending. So,
yeah.
Pain in the ass, Tim.
Is it just your right hand?
Yeah.
Both hands?
No, right hand. So,
yeah.
And being left-handed, it's fine, but the new press requires I have to have both. There's not a way to do it without having two hands.
Yeah.
And blending one-handed, opening the jars is just a monumental pain in the ass. So
it's the simple things you take for granted, like opening a jar.
Yeah.
Crying out loud.
Yeah. And I'm really tired of my two little fingers being numb. So I'm hoping a cortisone shot will fix that. And I don't really want to have surgery because then I'll be out for months and months and months. And
right.
Yeah,
maybe this will do it.
Yeah, I'm hoping. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, other than that, Tim, we have some comments from episode 33. And by the way, Stacy was a blast to talk to. And really, quite frankly, if we turn the show over, it's going to be to Sarah and Stacy and just let them do a show because they seem to be very popular. So
I get I put Stacy to work. She's making logo bags for me for Vegas.
Oh, and by the way, Richard Bro commented on episode 32 about getting a Thunderbird insert for a Zippo lighter where it's butane. So I got one.
Yeah.
It's downstairs in my coat pocket. It works fantastically. I highly recommend it. In fact, there's the package it came in.
Thunderbird.
Yep.
Okay.
And it fits right in. It holds a ton of fluid. Because I have a Zyker, and the problem I have with the Zyker, it's good for a day, and then I'm refilling it. And sometimes if I have, more than 4 or 5 pipes, it's out. And it's a great looking lighter. And
so this, you just take the guts out of your Zippo, and then this plugs in where the wick would go up.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll go get it. Hang on. Tim, entertain yourself.
Oh boy. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Can't have any dead air time here. Mm-hmm. Man, I tell you what, that seemed like an hour.
Tim, so just remember, every time that your internet goes out and stuff happens, it's brutal. It's absolutely. So here is the insert itself.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And it's the whole thing. And you drop it into your Zippo. And it is a bit snug. Because this Zippo that I have not used what I would consider to be extensively, because I hate the smell of lighter fluid. And someone messaged me and said, "Oh, you've got to get the Zippo lighter fuel because it doesn't smell as bad."
It all smells the same.
Yeah, and luckily,
lighter fluid is lighter fluid.
I've got the 12-ounce can of it, so.
Hey, if the zombie apocalypse comes, you're going to have plenty of lighter fluid.
Yeah, well, and You know me. What size containers of butane can you get? Well, you can get the little 3-ounce, or you can get this Mondo dildo of consequence of lighter fluid of butane.
Right.
So
you just jack that in the bottom of that insert, and
Yeah.
that'll
Yep. And
fill
it, like I said, it works like a champ. Absolutely love it.
I'm going to get me one of them tonight. All
Yeah.
right.
Amazon, $21.
And what's it called again? The what?
It is called the Thunderbird butane
Okay.
insert for Zippos.
Okay.
And it works like a champ. Absolutely love it. So, and that's what I've been
All right,
carrying
cool.
around with me. So eventually I have to get a hold of Stacy and have her make me a Zippo lighter cover. Leather, because it does clang in the pocket. Downside to a Zippo. You carry around. And I've been carrying around these Brigham. Yeah, that's the one.
$15.
Oh, there you go.
$16, $15. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I carry it around with these little $1.99 Brigham pipe nails. Just.
Yeah.
I have some great tampers, and I'm afraid to carry them around in my pocket because I don't want to damage them. Because I've got that beautiful antler one that you made me, and the zebra wood, and I carried the zebra wood around for a while, and I put a ding in it with my lighter and just pissed me off. So now it's in a decorative display case. So
Oh.
there we go. So anyway,
That the deer antler one though, that should be pretty much indestructible. I mean,
well, it is.
Geez.
It's just 6 inches long.
Oh, okay. Bandsaw will take care of that.
Well, but
It's like, is that a tamper in your pocket? Are you happy to see me?
It's a tamper, and it's a big one. And it's beautiful, and it's in the
Kind of pointy.
yeah.
They call me Needle Dick the Bug Fucker.
Yeah, you know what brightens up my whole day is when that thing gets stuck in my thigh because it's pointy at one end and lets me know I'm still alive. Excellent.
It looks like you're here, like your bladder's been pierced by a deer antler. I bent over to pick up a paper clip.
Yep, exactly. Oh, I dropped that on the floor. I'm not getting it. I'm just going to kick it someplace where somebody else can get it. We do have some comments from last week's episode with Stacy. Terry Brewster, great episode, guys. Stacy was a great guest and excellent products. I'm blown away at winning a pipe. Thank you so much. Well, you committed.
Yeah. Making a pipe for Terry.
Yeah, you submitted the awesome chicken wing. God, you're going to get your wings today. Oh, Parmesan, garlic, or honey barbecue. Yep. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island, thank you for another fantastic video. Bluebird Farm, great show, guys. We appreciate that. Smokestacks, Garrett, another great show, guys. Sorry I missed the deadline. That's okay. He's going to submit some questions.
Could be another one.
Yeah, we'll do this again. Bill Keach Piper, I'm glad Stacy got a chuckle out of my joke. That's pretty good. Blake Pipes, and Blake, we do need to get you on and get you scheduled to come on with us so that you can share your special. That was almost English. Let me try again.
Easy for you to say.
And now from the Joe Biden School of Speech Therapy. Hanta parama manta papa. Blake was here. All right.
Smell the baby. Smell the baby.
Bring me the little girl. All right. Well, there we go. Yusuf Syed. Good morning, fabulous people. Awesome video. Thanks, and have a wonderful Sunday. Greetings from South Africa. And then Willie, the simple Georgian. I really enjoyed this show with Stacy. Met her at Muletown last year and got a chance to chat with her again this year. Love her work. Looking forward to get a couple of things done in the future. So there you go.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Having Rob on tonight was a hoot, and we really appreciate him coming on kind of last minute.
Good guy.
Yeah, super
good guy. Yeah.
When I met him in person, he talks about, oh, Jim, you left a bag full of tobacco. Oh, yeah, whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, I got a pipe. Oh, you want to see this one? You want to see this one? And the one I really liked, but the stem was just it was too small, and I was like, I really wanted that, but that one, those two that he showed us tonight, the blowfish, it's like, how has nobody snapped
That's
that
a
up?
dandy.
Yeah, how has nobody snapped that up yet?
Yeah. Well, he smoked it.
Well, yeah, and
No, I know, but I think he was. It's his pipe. I think it's his pipe. I don't know.
All right. Well, and the other one he showed us, that's it's kind of got that Dublin-ish with the plateau top. Just another spectacular pipe.
Yeah. That tomato, that's really beautiful.
Wow. Does great work, and he's just a super guy. I when I went to Edwards, I think we were there for a couple hours and chatted with him almost the whole time, and he and Anthony are just some of the nicest people in the world. So
yeah.
But an interesting thing
Clearly.
about the is how many people were willing to help him, and I keep coming back to, I just don't think there's a better community on the planet than the pipe community. Here are all these,
I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't think so.
When I was doing forging and stuff, there were guys that were just like, man, I don't help people. Like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah,
yeah. Here it's like,
right.
here, David Huber makes amazing pipes. Yeah, I'll help you. Yeti pipes. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, this is how I do this. This is how I do that. And it's like, wow, amazing.
I know.
So,
yep, can't beat it. That's why I stay at it.
Yeah.
I'd be out here by myself, not knowing anybody. Think about all the people that I've become acquainted with since I started doing this, and become good friends with.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you listen to Get Pipe this week, right in the opening segment, he says a lot of nice things about you and your work. So,
no kidding.
Yeah.
Adam's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, Adam and Nick are both great guys. I like both of them a lot. So, and Justin and Nate and Jay and Mike and
right.
There's one of these days we're going to do just an episode of the other, like, YouTube pipe and tobacco channels, and just kind of, hey, here's people you should watch. Here's some things that we watch. So
that'd be a good one.
Wow.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, maybe a future episode when we don't have a guest schedule. So,
or have like we were talking, or like that I suggested the other day about having Nate and Justin on. That'd be a hoot.
Oh,
have those guys on.
I actually brought it up to him, and I'll ring the bell again on him. Say, hey, you guys ever thought about having the four of us on a podcast for a couple hours? We could be really, really
somebody listening to four people give each other shit for an hour, maybe longer.
Yeah, exactly. And that's still one of my favorite memes that I think it was Jared or Caleb made, where it was if podcasts were Muppets, you and I would be the two old guys in the balcony, and right. Nate and Justin would be Beaker and the scientist. Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, Tim, I think it's time to wrap up this episode.
Yep, we wasted another hour and a half of everyone's life. Tune in again next time.
Yeah, time well wasted. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. All right. See you around.